Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This week's top 10 is the top 10 large size notes that I think are the prettiest. These are the most artistic notes of the large size series. Now, the large size notes, they stopped being in production after the 1923 run. As of 1928, all of the notes are the size you're used to seeing. So, we're talking about the big notes. Now, I know that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so I'm prepared for all the grief I'm going to get. Some notes I may have forgotten, some notes I just may not agree with, but that's why I'm doing the list. These are my 10 favorite notes as far as the large size go. And I'm going to start off with number 10. Now, this particular note isn't necessarily the note I was talking. This one is an 1869 $10 legal tender. Also known as, well, this one's also a treasury note, so it wasn't necessarily a silver certificate or a gold certificate. This was backed by anything at all in the treasury. But why I pulled this note out is because this is one of the rainbow notes. I don't know how well that's going to come up on here, but I didn't know which rainbow notes to pick, so I just called number 10 the entire rainbow series. Now, if you look real close, you can see how there's a greenish hue to the background here. You can really see the green stand out around the number, but the note does transition from a green to almost white to almost a blue. And that is like the rainbow pattern in the background. So these are rainbow notes. These were almost all denominations starting in 1878, I want to say. I could be wrong on that one. Oh, no, 1869. 1869 or so is when the rainbow notes started coming out. And just their color pattern in and of itself is just stunning to see. Unfortunately, because of how rare these notes are, in order to get one where you can see the rainbow pattern very well, you have to pay a ton for them. And that's the whole reason you're getting it, is to be able to see that pattern. If you get them in lesser condition, you are less likely to see the rainbow, and, well, that defeats the purpose of having the note. That's why I put the rainbows at number 10. Hard to get, very cool when they're in good condition. Number 9. Number 9, I went with, this is an 1886 $10 silver certificate. I was always fascinated by this. This is called the Tombstone Note. They made another version of this in the 1907 or 1901, I believe it was. But the silver certificate, the $10 silver certificate known as the Tombstone Note, this actually features a vice president, Hendricks, if I recall. And I just think that this is so neat because you've got something other than a circle, other than an oval. You've got this tombstone shape. And of course, that was done because he died in office. He was put on the bill because he died in office. I don't know if they necessarily used that tombstone shape because of that, but it's just a unique looking note. It's one of the few notes that you're going to see that has anything other than a rounded shape on it like that. So that always fascinated me. It's on my list to get as far as my wish list. The Tombstone silver certificate, $10 silver certificate. Number 8. Going with an oldie. I like the look of this one. The 1862 $1 bill. This is the very first $1 bill that our country ever produced. Mine's in real good shape, which probably helps out with the aesthetics of this particular bill. You've got the green on the front, you've got the red seal on the front, the back of the note, all the intricate work there when you zoom in there, just so detailed. I'm more focusing on the fronts of the notes though, so I don't want to go too much onto the backs of the notes. But yeah, this is where it all started. This is what our notes look like to begin with, and I'm actually a fan of this. When they're in good shape, they are pretty stunning. So that would be the 1862 $1 legal tender. Number 7. You're going to see a lot of these. This is the first of the educational series. This is the $1 1896 $10 educational note. I think it's a beautiful note. I don't think it looks anything at all like money. But to me, this is like the lesser of the educational series. That's why I wanted to bring this one in fairly early. The 1896 educational note, you can take a look at that. There is just quite impressive. You've got the names of famous people all around. This note was dedicated to history. It's got the Constitution written on there, and if you zoom in, and if my camera will zoom in right, you can actually read it. Constitution of the United States, we the people, and it goes through the entire thing. So that is pretty cool. Let's look at the bottom. Treasury, yep. History Instructing Youth is the title of that particular one. History Instructing Youth, she's pointing at Washington, D.C. as it was in 1896. So yeah, it doesn't look anything like money. Total artwork on this. It's just my least favorite of the educational series, but still an incredible note, so it definitely makes the list. Number 6, another $1 silver certificate. This is the one that actually replaced the educational note when the educational series got taken out. This is an $18.99 $1 Black Eagle. Now, if you get these in good condition, they can be stunning as well. You get the imagery of that Black Eagle with the white background. It just pops. The blue color just screams out at you when you've got all these black and gray tones on the white background. Very beautiful note here. You've got Lincoln and Grant on the front. So when they replaced the educational series with the Black Eagle, I think they did a heck of a job. $18.99 $1 silver certificate, the Black Eagle. 109,876. Number 5. Going with a 1901 $10 legal tender, the Bison Note. $10 Bison Note legal tender featuring Lewis and Clark on there. Yes, it is a North American bison. It is not a buffalo. The Lewis and Clark note, the legal tender $10 Bison Note, you want to talk about a jaw dropper. The first time I saw this, I didn't think it was real. I thought this was just a contemporary joke or something to that effect. Didn't realize that was the real deal, but yep, that's what they were. 1901 legal tender. Beautiful note. They didn't go with a hard line for the border on there. They just let the imagery break up as it goes, which is definitely kind of interesting to see. And that would be number 5. 109,876. Yep, number 5. Number 4. Now, I'm going to catch a lot of grief. I know I'm going to catch a lot of grief for these next ones. So, like I said, my list, my choice. Number 4, I went with the $18.99 $5 bill, the Chief Note. My silver certificate from $18.99 featuring Chief Unk Papa. This is just a really impressive, stunning note. You get the bright blues in there. Just a heck of an engraving on the Chief himself. Such a cool note. The background behind the United States with the shadowing there almost makes that just pop, just jumps right off the page. Just such a cool note. The styling in the we'll pay the bearer on demand $5. That's just really, really cool. What can I say about that? $18.99 $5 silver certificate. All right, number 3 on the list. I almost bumped this up a little bit higher. This is the $2 $18.96 silver certificate. Also part of the educational series, the $2 silver certificate. Just a stunning front. Take a look at that here. If we zoom in here, it is not going to focus. Science presenting steam and electricity to youth and... to commerce and I can't quite read it. Nope, it's not going to zoom in on me. And manufacturing. That's what it is. So yeah, the $18.96 $2 silver certificate, just an immaculate note. The detail work in there is so cool. I mean, you even have the gears and stuff as far as manufacturing go. You can see them in the back as well. The cool background here. You get the palm fronds right there. Just a really sweet note. The shading behind there, the shadowing, making it look like these pop. Just a cool note. Very impressive note. And that was number 3 on the list. Number 2, I only wish this was in better condition, but you get what you can afford. Finishing off the educational series, this is the $18.96 $5 silver certificate. This is the Troublemaker note. There is just so much detail on this. It's hard to imagine this was in people's pockets when you look at all the stuff that is on here. Just an incredible note. Even the banners, even the scrolling on the side, series of 1896, Washington, D.C. Just such a cool note. The $5 silver certificate, you can see why this is such an iconic piece. The fact that this was in people's pockets and that this was how we spent money is just amazing to me. Just such an incredible note. That is number 2 on my list. And number 1 is my favorite note, the note that got me into collecting. My list, my note. This is the 1922 $20 gold certificate. To me, this is just my favorite note of all notes. You've got George Washington on there. That's completely unexpected. When I first saw this note, I was first stunned that it's a large size note. I didn't know large size notes existed. I was stunned because it's a gold certificate. It says in gold coin in big letters on here. I didn't know that we had gold certificates. I knew about silver, but not gold. I was surprised to see George Washington on something other than a $1 bill. So this is the note that really caught my eye, really got me into collecting paper money, and I have to keep this as my number 1. The nice thing is that in all of my lists, it's one of the more affordable number 1 notes. So if you're trying to put together a list of all of my number 1s, this one is easy enough to add to your collection. That is my favorite note. Now, they do make a Technicolor note where the white background is more of a bright yellow. I do not have that note. I may get that sometime as well. That would truly be the number 1 in my opinion, but that's what these lists are. Nothing but my opinion. So that is my top 10 list. If you agree with my list, go ahead and give me a like. I'm sure I'm not going to have too many likes on this because everybody has their own opinion as to what is nice looking and what isn't, but that is my list anyway. If you agree with me, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like a note that I didn't have in this list, leave that down in the comments as well so other people can check out one of those. If I have one, I'll bring it out to show a little later on. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you have an idea for a list, leave that in the comments, and if it's a cool idea, I'll see what I can do and see if I can't make that list for you. Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.